Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Dream of Crafts. My name is Deanna and we are going to start tutorial number 4 for my Graphic 45 ABC Primer mini album. And we are going to be working on page 2. So I decided to do some flips that have pockets in them. So I was going to originally do 7, but when I started stacking them up, they got way too thick in the center, and I didn't want it that thick, so I'm going to do 4. So we need 4 cut at 7 wide by 6 inches high, and we are going to score those on the 6-inch edge. We're going to score it at a 1/2 inch on each edge. And I like to, oops, that's my 5.5. Sorry about that. So here we go. 6 inch by 7 wide by 6 inches high. 1/2 inch, spin 1/2 inch. That way I know I'm getting exactly the same. We are going to fold and burnish, and I'm going to try to do that quiet as I can because I know that clicking can be a little loud. So that's our one piece. Then our next piece is 7 inches by 5.5, and we are going to score on the 5.5 inch edge at a 1/2 inch. And that's going to be the hinge we use to connect this to our page. All right. And we'll get that built, and then we'll do the pocket part. So I like to make sure this is finished nice. You can use tape if you would like. I'm just going to use a little bit of glue, and I kind of stay away from that. Oops, try to stay away from that edge a little bit so it doesn't squeeze all over. And we are going to leave our flap open so we don't mess with that. And I have textured cardstock, so both my textured cardstocks will be facing out. I'm going to line that up along the edge. Both edges there. Got a little bit of glue squeezing out. We want to open this up to make sure we don't have glue on the inside, and we do not. We have quite a bit of sun this morning shining in the south window of the craft room, so sorry about that. All right, so then we're going to take our other edge and we're going to put some glue on that. There we go. And then close this up. You can see our other piece there. Yep. Okay, I want to open that up to make sure that there's no glue squeezing in. All right, so this is going to, I'll fold that back, get that crease good. All right. So that hinge is going to be, we're going to flip, wow. Can't even see it all. I'm going to have to correct that window a second. Okay, that is much better. I just wanted to get the blind set there. Okay. So now this is going to be on the bottom. These are going to flip down instead of up. So what I want to do is keep my right half open. And I'm going to take some glue on the left side. And I'm going to stay away from where my attachments are, so about a 1/2 inch from each edge there. And I'm going to run a bead of glue right along this edge here. Just, oops, let me get this little glob of glue off there. Just a tiny, tiny bead right along that edge. Doesn't have to be a lot. It's just enough to make it a pocket. Just like that. Like I said, I stayed about a 1/2 inch away from the two edges, so I didn't mess with that. I didn't want to seal up that part of the thing too tight because it does squidge both ways. So there we go. All right. So that's our pocket. And we should be good. We also have a tag, and we're going to cut 4 of these at 4 5/8 inches high by 6 3/4 inches wide. And our decorative cardstock for that is 4 3/8 inches high by 6 1/2 inches wide. And this is my extra cardstock, my extra graphic 45 cardstock. And like I've said in my previous videos, I'm using the extra just to make sure I have enough of the actual pack. Oops. Got the wrong ones here. This is going to go on here. So this decorative cardstock goes on the actual pocket, and it is 6 3/4 wide by 4 3/4 high. So, 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then we'll do the tags. We got one for the front, one for the back. These have already been smudged with the walnut stain Tim Holtz Distress ink. 6 3/4 wide by 4 3/4 high. And that decorates our pocket. And our tag is also extra cardstock from Graphic 45. And this one, I think, is from Adventure. I'll have to look. Let me see what this one's from. I'll tell you what these are from, so you know which ones I'm using. So this one is from Penny's Paper Dolls. So it's from this one. And this one here is from World Fair Collection. And I buy these in, believe they come in either packs of 20 or 25. And like I said, I like to have those on hand for just the patterns, because the patterns are nice. I like the patterns. So I have a bunch of different ones. I don't have all of them, but I have a bunch of different ones. So again, these are 4 3/8 inches high by 6 1/2 inches wide. And this is our decoration for the inside tag. And I'll show you for a second that when you put a picture on, you still get a decorative edge. So you get a black edge and you get a decorative edge. You don't have to decorate these if you don't want to. You can just do a black edge all the way around, or whatever color you're using. This is a gift, so that's why I'm decorating it so much. And I might even, if it was from my own, because if you like that look of the multi edges, it does look nice. All right, and then this will slide into the pocket and it will disappear. Okay, it's perfect size, as long as you just do a little tiny glue on the end there. So in order to be able to see that there's a tag there, I came up with my ruler 1/4 of an inch from the bottom of the black edge there. This ruler is clear, so it makes it nice and easy for me to see what I'm doing. This is a Westcott ruler, if anybody's interested. And then it is 5 inches this way, not including my hinge. So I'm going to put a little mark at my 2 1/2. And if you can see the little pencil mark there, I'm going to bring in this punch is a 1/2 inch punch. And I'm going to bring it in just so I can see that and center in my circle there. Give it a good punch. So when I put my tag in, that it's visible and it lines up nicely with the edge. Just like that. Okay. So that's how I created those. So there's going to be 4 of those. All right. Okay, get this stuff out of there. So I have created, this is my top piece. This is page 2, side 1, page 2, side 2, page 2, side 1 is the first page, the front page. And I've created my closure there. Where did I just put my, there it is. So this is going to go on the face of the page. This piece is, I had it written down somewhere, but we'll just measure it. So it is, Lottie, go lay down. It is 9.5 high by 7 1/4 wide. 9.5 high, 7 1/4 wide. That gives me 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And I have put some tape on the back because I'm going to build the flips on this, and then we'll attach it to this. First, I've got to get my closure attached. So I have 2 pieces. One's going to flip up, one's going to flip down. These are 6 inches high by 7.5 inches wide. I scored them at 1 inch and 1 1/8 inch. That's going to give me an 1/8 inch gusset. So we're going to glue, and then I also attached a brad. So I punched a hole in the center and put a brad on the top one, brad on the bottom one. We're going to use that as a closure with some string. So without gluing my 1/8 inch gusset down, I'm going to glue down the 1 inch hinge. And we're going to do that right here. And this is the same width as the page. So we're going to line that up along the right edge and the top edge. And the 1 inch just gives you a little bit more security, a little bit more grip to the main page there. Okay. Again, I'm going to keep my gusset pressed open there. I'm going to lift this so I can put that right along the edge there perfectly. Okay. That way when we put our there, it will cover that and help that right here. Now I put a piece of tape over the brad there just to hold that down. And then we're going to push this up so that the gusset is actually back up in the air there. We're going to do the same thing to this one. Remember, we're going to line it along that bottom edge there. My gusset is pressed flat. Just going to put the glue on the 1 inch part here. Textured paper. A little noisier. Okay. There we go. I'm going to lift this up and press that right down there. All the way down. Keeping that lined up with the bottom of the page. And the edge here. There we go. Kind of like that. There we go. Oopsie. I'm going to slide this open a little bit so I can, because it's bumped up here on this one, because that's thick. So we want that to, let's see what's going on here. little bit crooked there. There we go. Okay. All right. So that is pretty much ready now. So that will come there and there. And hopefully, good. So I have a string that's 18 inches long here. And I took a little glue and just put it on there and kind of twirled it so that we have glued edge. And I'm just going to tie that around there. Give it another knot. Maybe do it one more time. Just so I know it's secure. There we go. All right. And then this will wrap around like that. Just like that. Or you can go, let's see if I can get it. You can go like this and back around. So might have to be a little bit longer. Let me see. Let me see if that's going to hold. If it doesn't, if it looks like it's not going to hold, then we'll cut a little bit longer. It's just got to basically hold. It might not. We might have to do a little bit longer. We'll see. Which is fine. It's not a big deal to do a longer piece. All right, so I'm going to set this out of the way here. And then, oops. Here, we can glue these on. So these are the backs for these, and they are 4 and 5/8 high by 7 1/4 wide. So 2 of those. And that'll be our cover. With that, I'm gonna add my glue. I feel like I'm zoomed all the way out, but I don't know if my camera got moved or what. Let's check that in a second here. And again, it's going to have 1/8 of an inch edge. Okay. Let's close that. I'm just going to press on that like that. Perfect. Same here. Again, 1/8 of an inch all the way around there. All right. Okay, now we can set this out of the way, and we'll bring in our paper here. So I have 4 ready. We're going to start a 1/2 inch up from the bottom here, and we're going to have about about 1/8 of an inch on each side here. Okay, so my 1/2 inch, I can actually just hold my ruler there and push that right down there, just like that. So I'm going to put my glue on there. Okay. And we're going to space these a little bit apart, and then later on I will add room for, oopsie, just shifted it, like journaling spots. Okay, just like that. So we're going to end up with 1.5 inches between each one. Okay. Okay, and I've got these marked. I mean 1 1/4 inches, I'm sorry. So it's going to be 1 1/4 inches from the bottom of this hinge to the top where this hinge is on the okay, so 1 1/4 inch from this mark to where your other page is, okay, or your other pocket is. So we're going to fold that closed, and then I'm going to come up 1 1/4. I've got it marked on here, so I'm just going to use my marks instead of the ruler because it's so hard to see the ruler on that black. So I've got mark on each edge here. And just in case, you shouldn't have a problem, but just make sure that your opening is facing right. But it should automatically because of the way we're putting them on. All right, so there's my mark, just like so. That this should line right up, and they do. Okay. This was so thick. If I did, I mean, it was like this thick in the middle. I thought, oh yeah, I can't have that. So, but we'll get plenty of pictures still in here because each one has the capacity to do 4 pictures. So that's 16 pictures on this page. Okay, my mark and my mark, just like that. And that's straight, perfect. Okay, and our last one. And I don't know why I decided to flip them down, just something different instead of flipping up. Because it really doesn't matter, up or down. Find my marks. Ooh, that looks like more than 1 1/4. That is way more than 1 1/4. All right, I'm going to remark that. There's my line. That was way more than 1 1/4. Oh, there's my marks right there. So apparently I did an extra set of marks. All right. Right here and right there. Yeah, there we go. Right. Okay. That looks better. And then you actually could get another whole photo right here. Okay. So 17. And then this will flip like that. See, just like that. And got your tags in there. So let's go ahead, pull this back in. And bring this in. And this is going to give me, perfect, look at that. And we'll decorate these nice. I did put 3 pieces of 1/2 inch tape on here to help hold it while it dries. And we're going to give it some glue here. And again, this will have a 1/4 inch border on top of the page there. You could probably give yourself a bigger space in between these pages if if you would like to make your spine bigger. All right, here we go. Oops, got some glue on there. I'm going to do it from the bottom edge here so I can see. Do it from the bottom edge. It should all line up perfectly. All right. Let me turn this way. And I'm going to press on that like that. Like that. Good and pressed. Yeah, doesn't want to. That curved edge there doesn't want to lay down. All right, so let's close this back up here. Makes it hard on that mound there. So I'm going to rub this here. Put this way. And try that. Lift it, because I don't want to be pressing on my thing there. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Each one of these has our tag in it already, so we're good to go there. And let's see here. Like I said, I might have to add, let me see if that holds up. Yeah, I think we're good. Probably could use a little bit more. So let's just play it safe. And we're going to snip that out there and we'll just create a new one. There we go. Just create a new one just to be sure that we've got plenty. So I'm just going to, that was 18. So let's do 18, give it an additional 10. So 28 inches, which is way more than we need. And then I'm going to add a little glue there and twirl. Little glue here. And twirl. There we go. So this is plenty long, but then we can cut it at what we want. So we got one. We'll give this 3 times 2, just to make sure we got a good tie on there. And snip. There we go. So now around and around. There we go. That should hold it now. Perfect. All right. So that is that page. See, we're getting some buildup. So now on this page, I'm going to go thin again. All right. Oh, we got some glue on there. All right. Let's go ahead and do page 2. This is just a pocket system. So I have used 3 of my scraps. They are 7 1/4 wide, and these are all the same. I mean, whoops, that's my tags. Hang on, here we go. So these were all scraps for my cuts, and they are 4 3/4 high by 8 5/8 wide, and they were scored at a 1/2 inch, and then I slid it over, and I'll show you what I did, because I wanted a tiny gusset in there. So scored at a 1/2 inch. I then slid it over to the next between the next eighth. So it's right in between the next eighth, the one I just scored, and then I did it at the eighth. So I've got a 1/16 of an inch gusset there on each one. Okay. So I did 1/2 inch, slid it over to halfway in between the 1/2 inch mark and the 5/8, and scored again in the 5/8 line. So it gave me a 1/16 of an inch. All right, let me slide this out of the way a second. Oh, nope, I do need this here. Let me see here. All right, so these are going to be glued together, one inside the other, like so. The top one is going to be a full tag, and then our tags will get smaller. Okay, so these are our tags. All right, so I want my first one down at the bottom, just like that. The next one is going to be 2 1/8 inches from that, and then the top one's 2 1/8 inches from that. So I am going to slide this out of my way so I can get these kind of attached to each other. So here's my first one. And I want to mark at 2 1/8. So from the top, 2 1/8. And here, 2 1/8. So I'm going to put this one lined right up with those two marks, and I'm going to just tack this one to that one, just temporarily, so until we glue them all on. Okay, so from this line down, I'm just going to put a little glue here, just like that, and a little glue here, just like that. Okay, so this one is going to lay on top of this one, right at my 2 1/8 inch mark. Okay, so just like that. And it's kind of pouchy, but that's okay. They will be just fine. So on my top one, I'm going to open it wide up, 2 1/8 there. From the top, 2 1/8 there. Do the same thing. I'm going to put glue just on my 1/2 inch, not on the other part, not on the 1/16 of an inch gusset, just on the 1/2 inch. And we're going to bring this in, line our pencil lines up, line our edge up, and there we go. Okay. A little bit of extra glue there, but it doesn't matter. Okay. All right, there we go. So now, going to do that. Do that. Okay, we're going to bring this in, like so, and we're going to glue this down to here. I'm going to press this down pretty good here. It's pretty bold. Okay. I was trying to get those to lay a little bit flatter for me. There we go. Once we get it on there, then we should be all right. Okay. So this will glue right down to the bottom of the page, just like that. We're going to stay away from our hinge edge there. And we will get the glue on there, just like that. Okay. So I'm going to do this edge first. I'm going to go right down the bottom of my page. Stay away from that 1/4 inch there. Okay, there we go. Just like that. Just like that. Open it up. Make sure it's adhered good. Okay. Now we also want to create a bead of glue down here when we glue this shut. So that closes up that pocket. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to put my glue on the hinges. And then just a fine line down at the bottom. Just like that. And we're going to bring this in. Like so, right to that edge. Close this like this. That's my best way to do it because this is flatter. Give it a good press. Okay, and then check it. All right. So that's our 3 pockets, and those were made of scraps. I have one tag 7 1/4 wide by 9 3/8 inches high. One tag 7 1/4 wide by 8 1/2 inches high, and one tag 7 1/4 wide by 6 inches high. My decorative cardstock is 7 inches wide by 5 3/4 for the 6 inch high one. 7 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches high for my 8 1/2 inch high one. And I don't believe I wrote down the decorative cardstock measurement for this one. So this one is 9 1/8 high by 7 inches wide. So, okay, so all we're going to do is glue these down. Let me put my pin back in my glue here. And get my ink pad out here. And these ones I didn't smudge yet, so we'll go ahead and do that. A little bit. And I'm trying to keep track of how much paper and stuff I use. I kind of like that one. Yeah, I might use that side instead. Okay. So we'll go ahead and glue these. This is this one. Like that. Slide this out of the way a second so we can see. Whoops. And you should have 1/8 of an inch edge all the way around. If I cover the backs, it's going to be with the it will be with the patchwork type to use up all those extra pieces again. So it's just going to be the front for right now. There's one. Here's our tallest one here. I like this plaid too. Gingham. Gingham, yeah, gingham. Right. And last one. Oopsie. Here we go. All right, so now for the inside of the pockets, these are cut, and this is the extra cardstock. These are 2.5 inches high, which is plenty, by 6 and what do we got? 7. Sorry, 7 3/8 inches wide, and they're all the same. And these are actually going to go like right in here, and we're going to keep it. Let me put a white piece in there so you can see what's going on here. Oopsie. So we're going to keep it an 1/8 inch down from the edge, and then just slide it in that pocket. So you basically need glue just on the top part here. Don't need it down the bottom because it's not going to catch on anything. Okay. It's plenty long. So we're going to just slide that between, kind of even it out there. Split the difference on the edges. There we go, just like that. That is one. And then we have, where's our second one? Right here. There we go. It just made it easier to cut them all the same size. Okay. Again, slide it in there. Split the difference between the two edges, left and right. There we go. Drop down from the edge there like that. Perfect. And then this is our last one. There we go. Slide it in. Split the difference way down in there. Just a little bit. It's probably like a 1/16 of an inch from the edges there. And that one looks a little crooked. One look crooked. There we go. So now we can slide our tags in. This one goes in here, like so. Then our next one. Then our last one. There we go. Just like that. And then this piece is 7 3/8 inches wide by 2. Ooh, no, that was the other ones. So this one, 7 1/4 wide by 4 1/4 high, or 4.5. Boy, 4.5 inches high by 7 1/4 wide, and that will cover this here. Somewhere it's written down on one of these pieces, because I try to write it down, but then I start moving things around, and then they get sent where they're not supposed to. So all right, almost done. Okay, so this is going to go on the front of this pocket here. And then in addition to that, I have cut one of the tags out, and I've added took 1-inch strips of the black cardstock, scored it at 1/2 inch, and created little pockets, so little hinges. And I'm going to add that, and that'll be a small additional pocket. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue here. Just a little bit on the bottom edge there to close up that pocket. Again, you don't have to go underneath those hinges because some will squeeze under there, and the pocket's going to hold either way. So we're going to kind of eyeball this here, just like that. There we go. And then that will create another little pocket that we can stick a little tag or something in, journaling tag or something, just like that. And that is our 2 pages for today. So there. And then this will hold the tag. It will hold something else. So there we go. So 3 pockets, and then our flip. We'll add a little thing to that, so then these flip down. Like so, in your room, and then our tags. Okay. Perfect. That is it for today. Thank you for following along. I hope you give it a try. And like I've said before, you don't have to use this paper collection. You can use any collection that you would like. And you can see that this is filling up now. It's getting full in there. So we should have another thin page on the back of one side 1, and then smaller page 2 maybe on the front because this is pretty big. And then we have our pocket things we're going to create on the back there. So this will be a nice album. So if you're a subscriber, thank you so very much. I do appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. Go ahead and hit that red subscribe button down in the right-hand corner. Bell will pop up. If you hit that bell, you can be notified each time I put up a new video. As always, I wish you and your family many, many blessings, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.